China will lose the trade war with America. Here is why. Trade wars are not fought with bullets. They are battles of economies, industries, and influence. Since 2018, the United States and China have been locked in a high-stakes economic showdown. While media outlets have portrayed it as a tug-of-war between equals, the reality is far more nuanced and far more imbalanced. This is not just a story of tariffs. This is a deep dive into why China is structurally, strategically, and systemically positioned to lose the trade war with America. Part 1. The Trade Imbalance Myth. Many believe the trade war began because of the U.S. trade deficit with China. But the deficit itself is not the issue. It's what underpins it. China's economy has been built on export-led growth, especially since joining the WTO in 2001. America, in contrast, is a consumer-driven, services-dominant economy. The U.S. imports Chinese goods because it's more cost-effective, not because it must. China, however, is deeply dependent on U.S. consumption to fuel its GDP. Part 2. China's over-reliance on export markets. China's economic model still hinges on exporting manufactured goods. Over 18% of China's exports go directly to the U.S. A reduction in U.S. imports disrupts entire supply chains in China. Many of these goods are low-margin and labor-intensive, making China vulnerable to substitution. When the U.S. raises tariffs, companies simply move to Vietnam, India, or Mexico. China has tried to rebalance its economy, but the domestic consumption share of GDP remains stagnant. Part 3. The Demographic Time Bomb. One of China's most underreported weaknesses is its demographic collapse. Years of the one-child policy have led to a shrinking labor force and aging population. By 2050, China will have more retirees than working-age people. Labor shortages are already driving up wages and decreasing competitiveness. This makes China less attractive as a low-cost manufacturing hub. Part 4. U.S. energy independence versus China's resource insecurity. The U.S. has become one of the world's top energy producers. Thanks to shale, the U.S. is effectively energy independent. China, however, is the largest importer of oil, natural gas, and food. Its economy is exposed to price shocks and supply disruptions. Trade wars amplify this vulnerability. America controls key technologies and can sanction energy trade flows, hurting Chinese manufacturing. Part 5. Innovation and Tech Dependency. China has made strides in technology, but it still relies on U.S. technology at the core. Semiconductors, operating systems, chip-making equipment, America dominates. The U.S. can block access to these technologies via export controls, as it did with Huawei and SMIC. China's Made in China 2025 plan aimed for tech independence, but it's years, if not decades, behind. Meanwhile, the U.S. benefits from an open innovation ecosystem. Capital markets, universities, and R&D hubs lead the world. Part 6. Dollar dominance and financial leverage. The U.S. dollar is the world's reserve currency, used in 88% of global FX trades. Over 60% of world reserves are held in dollars. This gives America unmatched leverage in global finance. Sanctions, SWIFT restrictions, and capital controls can disrupt Chinese banking and limit international trade. China has tried to push the yuan internationally, but capital controls and trust issues persist. Part 7. Global Alliances and Strategic Positioning. The U.S. has a global alliance network: NATO, Japan, South Korea, Australia. China has no such durable alliances and faces distrust from neighbors. Trade wars are not just economic, they are strategic. The U.S. surrounds China with naval bases and economic partners. Decoupling strengthens these ties further, as allies diversify away from Chinese supply chains. Conclusion: why China can't win. The trade war is not a skirmish, it's a realignment of global power. China is facing a multi-front squeeze: aging population, declining global trust, export dependency, innovation gap. Financial leverage held by the U.S. America, with all its flaws, remains the consumer engine, the innovation hub, and the financial center of the world. And that is why, despite headlines to the contrary, China will lose the trade war. What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below and don't forget to subscribe for more economic deep dives and global strategy breakdowns. Until next time.